Welcome back. I'm Paul Merkley for Seniors Junction. This is the third in a series of 5 short presentations that are preparing you for our classes in music appreciation, giving you an idea of some terms and concepts that you're going to encounter very early, emphasizing the idea that we are not trying to make encyclopedia definitions, but teach you to understand your listening experience and have some vocabulary to talk about it with. So the theme of this presentation is time in music, and I'm going to get right to my screen share. So terms for today, the beat or pulse. This is something you have to feel. I could talk a blue streak about it, it wouldn't matter. I have to get you to feel the beat. All of you are able to do this, otherwise you wouldn't be able to dance, you wouldn't be able to sing. Tempo is our word for speed, and in music we measure that in beats. There we are, back to beats again, beats per minute. I need to say a word or two about meter, which is a framework. We measure meter in bars. Those are the units of meter. And I'll get right back to that in a minute. Rhythm. These are the notes that establish and they fill in the framework. And how can we measure the beats per minute? Well, with something called a metronome. And I guess I'm going to take a minute and just show off my metronome. I'm not by any means old school in anything, but I do like my metronome. You can use a metronome on your phone. It's just as good, but there's a little slide here that changes the number of beats per minute. And when I undo this, the pendulum goes back and forth and it gives me a tempo, a number of beats per minute. So, for example, a march has a more or less standard tempo because that's the speed at which people march. Sort of something around 116 or 120 beats per minute, each beat in a march being the moment that you put your foot down. So there's one definition of beat that is a sensible one. Now, I made you a visual aid. You won't actually see this anywhere, but I think it will help you understand. Now, I've made big, thick lines for what we call the bar lines. Everything between 2 bar lines is a bar. So you'll see a huge 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Well, because the beats are not equal in weight. Beat number 1 is the heaviest. Beats 2 and 4 are very light. Beat 3 is somewhere in the middle. So if I were to count it, and I've given you a 4 before the first bar, because very often there is a 4 that leads to the 1. So I'm just going to count this for you to get you thinking. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, bars are almost always divided either into 4 or into 3. And you can tell the difference by asking a simple question. Could I march to it? Well, you've got 2 feet. So if you could march to it, it's going to be in 4. Would I dance the waltz to it? Well, that's in 3. So if you can wait a minute, I'll see if I can illustrate everything very well. First, let's talk about a march. And I'm going to sing a march, and I'm going to count as I sing. This one does not begin with a beat 4. It starts right on beat 1. So I'm going to sing my march, counting the numbers, showing you how it would go with left and right, left and right. And when I need to divide one of the numbers in half, when I need to subdivide a beat, I'm going to use the word and. But in any case, all of my numbers will keep at the same tempo. There'll be the same space of time between every number. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Now, I really didn't intend to perplex you, but I hope you heard that that's a march, and that you can imagine left and right feet, and that you say, well, I could never dance a waltz to that, that's for sure, and that therefore it's divisible into 4, and how that would be. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it slowly to give you a chance. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you can imagine my metronome ticking away as I did that. Now, not all pieces that have the time divided into 4 are marches, of course. I'm going to sing O Canada next because it's very familiar to most of us. My co-founder tells me I sing O Canada too slowly. She would like me not to be so ponderous and heavy with it. But if you keep your eyes on the visual aid again, and remember, it's only a visual aid. This is not musical notation. This is not something that you will see in music, but it should help you keep the beats. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, some of you may be asking, why do we count in music? Simple answer, to stay together, so that the rhythm is right. So now you've heard two pieces in which the meter is divided into four. And now I want to show you two in which it's divided into three as contrast. All right, same thing, visual aid, not real musical notation. Bar lines showing the bars, the units of meter, each unit containing 3 beats or 3 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Why did I put the 3 at the beginning? Because very often the 3 leads to the 1. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Like to do the same thing I just did for division into 4 into 3. So I'm choosing the song Greensleeves, thinking that it's familiar to many of you. And maybe some of you know it as the Christmas carol, What Child Is This? Same thing, I'm going to sing it not with the words, but I'm going to count it. So you get this impression of 3, of dividing units into 3. Here we go. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How'd you do? I hope it's starting to come clear. I'm going to do it again, a little slower. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I hope that's helping clarify. So let me take another example that most of you will know. God Save the Queen. If you're an American, you know it as My Country 'Tis of Thee. And now we're not starting on beat 3, we're starting right on beat 1. I'm going to excuse myself and clear my throat for a moment. Very sorry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Hope it's coming clear. You'll certainly get plenty of examples as we go along, but I hope that's a good start. I'm going to reward you for your kind and careful attention. with a fun fact. Music is often repurposed. And as it happens, God Save the Queen began its life as a dance that we call the Galliard. How do I know this? Well, I know it. I know it because in the choreography of the Galliard, which is a dance from the 1600s, there is a 6-step pattern, which takes up 2 of these 3-beat units, 2 bars of 3 corresponding to 6 steps of the dance, 1 beat for every beat of music, 1 step for every beat of music. Always on the 5th step of the 6-beat pattern, there is a leap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, leap, and 6. God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save our Queen, da da dee da, send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen. So, I don't know. There's going to be coronation talk coming up, and it doesn't matter whether you favor the coronation, favor the royalty, don't like the royalty. People will be talking about it, and you will be the hit of the party if you tell them that, did they know that God Save the Queen or God Save the King began life as a 17th century dance with a leap in it? So, time in music. It's a little more complicated than other things we've addressed. I hope this has been helpful for you. It will all come together for you and become more consolidated as you hear more examples. And again, I'm going to be explaining everything we encounter when we encounter it. This is just to give you a bit of confidence and a bit of getting your feet wet before we get into the actual material. Thank you for paying attention so carefully. The next one of these bridge discussions, short discussions, will be on the orchestra. So I hope you'll come back for that. And thank you for listening.